There are two major types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Both of these types start in a part of the body called the pancreas. Let's take a look. Here's the inside of someone's belly. This right here is the liver, and here's the stomach, and all of this is the intestines. The pancreas sits right here near the stomach and the liver. Now, the pancreas is a very important organ. It makes something called enzymes, which help us to digest our food. It also makes hormones, which are like signals for the cells in our body. There are special cells in the pancreas called beta cells that make a hormone called insulin. Insulin helps our bodies process sugar. There are lots of different types of sugars. There is sugar in candy and sweets, but also in milk, fruits, and even bread and pasta. All of these different sugars are different types of carbohydrates. When we eat foods that have sugar in them, our stomach digests the food and breaks it into little pieces until we end up with a tiny little molecule called glucose. Think of that piece of candy like something you build out of blocks. When you eat the candy, the blocks break apart in your stomach. One single block is like one molecule of glucose. All the cells in our body need glucose. It's what our cells use to make energy to do all the things they need to do to stay healthy. After our stomachs break down sugar into glucose, the glucose travels through the blood and goes inside the cells. The cells take the glucose and can either turn it into energy or save it to use later. So what does all that have to do with the pancreas and insulin? Well, even though our cells need glucose, the glucose can only get inside the cells with the help of insulin. Insulin is like the key that opens the door to the cell for the glucose. Without insulin, glucose can't get into the cells. Without glucose, our cells can't make enough energy to do all the things they need to do to stay healthy. And when glucose can't get into the cells, it stays stuck in the blood. So let's summarize. When we eat foods like desserts, fruits, or breads that contain a lot of carbohydrates, or sugar, our stomachs break down the carbohydrates into glucose. We need glucose in our cells to make energy. Insulin is made in the pancreas and works like a key to let glucose into the cells. Without insulin, glucose can't get into the cells, so it stays in the blood. People who have diabetes have trouble with insulin getting glucose into their cells. Type 1 and type 2 diabetes are a little bit different from each other. We'll look at each of them separately.